And then Guy Hamilton, he's prepping this film, he wants to direct it, and he's in a jazz club in Los Angeles, one of the main ones, and Guy Hamilton loves his jazz. And he sees one of the musicians on stage with his bass, and goes up and says, "Where's the restrooms?" And this very quiet guy with long straggly hair, sort of snaggletooth tash, and says, "Oh, they're just there." And that was Guy Hamilton's way of just sounding like, said, "I think you'd be a really good killer." But Pilot Smith and Bruce Glover, the brilliance of them, they play two queer characters, two gay characters, who are already a couple when the film starts. And the film ends with them fighting literally to the death. And I would ask any of you in this room now to think, have we ever had a franchise mainstream movie that's done that now? Because we haven't.
Yeah.
The Eternals. The Eternals has a gay couple in it, one of the Marvel movies, but the sadness is, although it's also the brilliance, that Winton Kids are ahead of their time now. They shouldn't be, but they still are. And sadly Bruce Glover passed, but I thought, I'm going to try and get Putter Smith, and I emailed him in that day, said I can do it today, and I interviewed him about the film.
And he's obviously now in his 80s, this is 50 years later after he made Diamonds Are Forever, still a musician in LA, right where Guy Hamilton found him.
He still does lunchtime gigs for Blue Ridge Brigade.
So what was his take on this character when you asked him about it?
Well, his wife and her pals were all sort of jobbing actresses with their resumes and forever trying to sort of get into studio lots. And they were livid that what do you mean you've got a Bond audition? Do you know how many times we knocked on those doors or any doors? And his wife kind of read the script, and I think he was filming next day and went, "Oh, my character's queer, and I have to," and there's a line saying, "Show that you're a couple." He was panicked by that. And his wife said, Don't worry. Just when you walk away at the end of the scene, just take Bruce's hand, just hold it. And that's all the audience will need to know for the whole film. But Putter's an interesting character. He'd been a teenage musician. He had an older brother, and he kind of was a jobbing musician in his teens. And he ended up touring America with a group called the Young Americans, who was this dance, I'm going to say, a very faggy dance troupe. So it was very straight teenage Pilot Smith in with all these queenie guys in their 20s, these dancers. But he learned very quickly that they were amazing people, but they also weren't predatory, they weren't annoying him, they weren't trying to seduce him or be a problem. He said, "No, queer people are fine." And later he worked with Johnny Mathis, and Johnny Mathis was fine. So it's interesting how straight people learn how things progress, and he learns it through the behaviour of other gay people, or lack of behaviour sometimes. Even to this day, Putter's amazed why people talk about the film. But I think the thing I said to him, I said, when I was 10 years old and I saw this on a Sunday night on ITV back in the 80s, I'd never seen a gay couple on screen. Now, they're pitched as killers, they're pitched as a menace, they're pitched as a problem, but all I was seeing was young men dying in AIDS wars or storming Parliament. And when that's your future, men dying of AIDS or activism, and you're 10, 11, 12, and that's your projected future, these two characters mean something a lot, and I think that was why he agreed to chat to me. We chatted about 3 or 4 times. And there was Elliot, my husband, he came and said, "Really, I can hear you talking to Mr. Kidd upstairs." I'm like, yeah. It was weird me doing it. But he's a great character, and I'm so pleased that we got him in the book as well.